What's up, YouTube? It's DarkSpyro here, and by popular demand, I got some Buster Blader combos and test hands for you. If you want to know what's exactly in this deck card for card, I did the profile at the end of last month. You can go check that out. The video link is in the description below. If you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button so that you can stay notified for when my next deck profile comes out at the end of the month. If you want to see more combos and test hands, then just smash the like button on this video. And with all of that out of the way, let's just dive on into test hand number 1. Let's begin our first test hand here. I'm going to quickly shuffle this bad boy up, and honestly a couple riffles should do, but let's be safe. Do some of these, and another one of those, why not? We'll cut. This way you all know that there's no shenanigans here. First card, ooh, that's not bad. Oh, that's great. Okay, that's too much. Oh no, wait, this is, okay, I'm done. This is like a god hand. Going second, have Imperm, obviously. So we have two options here. We can either normal summon our Buster Whelp, or we can normal summon our Starliege Seifert. We already have Prologue. We don't necessarily need to, but I don't have a Buster Blader in hand, so I kind of want that as well. We're going to normal summon Buster Whelp. Why not? So when he's normal summoned, we get to go into our deck here, and we're going to add any Destruction Sword card. So we're going to add Buster Blader to hand here. Probably wondering, why are we adding this? Well, we already have Prologue, so we don't need to add another one. We could add the Fusion, but we're going to bin it off of Protector Whelp in a second. But first, we'll add this to our hand here. Next, we're going to go into a Link 1. Link 1 of choice here is going to be Striker Dragon. So when he's Link summoned, we get to do two things. We're going to add Boot Sector Launch, and we can chain Noctovision. So Noctovision will be special summoned, and we're going to add ourselves Boot Sector Launch from deck to hand. So we add Boot. We don't have any rockets, but that's okay for right now. We're going to go into a Link 2, and this will let us draw another card because Noctovision. We link these two away. Then we get to go into Protector Whelp with the Destruction Swordsman. If you want to chain block, you go chain 1 Protector Whelp, chain 2 Noctovision. But that means you're going to get your draw, then your bin. Let's just say we want to chain block. So we're going to use Noctovision, chain 2, draw a card. That's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. That's actually amazing. And then we get to bin a card. And like I said earlier, we can bin the Destruction Swordsman Fusion. So you can either bin Destruction Swordsman Fusion, or you can send Destruction Sword Memories. I like sending Destruction Sword Fusion because we can add it back to our hand by discarding a card. Since that went through, we're gonna special summon our Buster Blader. Before we go too far ahead, I want to activate Chaos Space now. We're gonna get rid of Seifert, and we're going to add Black Dragon Collapse Serpent because he's the opposite attribute. We sent a light monster, so we get to add the dark monster here. So we're going to banish Seifert so that we can bring out Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. We're actually going to link him and him away right now. So using Collapse Serpent and Protector Whelp, we're going to go into another Link 2. For Red Plant Verte Anaconda, now since he was sent, we are going to add White Dragon Wyverburster. There he is. And now we can banish either Collapse Serpent or Striker Dragon. I do kind of want to get rid of Collapse Serpent so we have more cards for discard fodder. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to banish Collapse Serpent, special summon our Wyverburster. Now we can activate Chaos Space. By banishing Chaos Space from our graveyard, we'll be able to target a card that cannot be normal summoned or set, and we'll place it on the bottom of our deck and draw a card. Give us a few shuffles, and then we're going to put him on the bottom of our deck here. And we will draw a card. Oh, it's a Rocket Recharger. We'll take that. That can be pitched for cost actually right now. So we're going to send Rocket Recharger, like I said, to add Destruction Sword Fusion back to our hand. You could have used Boot Sector Launch to special the Rocket Recharger, but that's okay. Don't worry about it too much. We're going to special summon Buster Whelp with a Destruction Swordsman by discarding a Destruction Sword card. And somebody said a while ago in the comment section that his effects are hard once per turn. His normal summon is not once per turn at all, but you are correct. His other two effects are, but we did not use his effect to tribute himself off to bring out the Buster Blader, use Protector Whelp. So that means he didn't use any of his hard once per turn effects yet, so that means we can use the other one, which is if this card is in the graveyard and you control a Buster Blader, you can discard one Destruction Sword card, special summon this card. So you can synchro, but we're not going to. We have another step first. This is a pretty important one too. So we're going to take these two guys, Buster Whelp the Destruction Swordsman and White Dragon Wyverburster. So he's going to go off and he's a tuner. That's important. We're going to go into Crystron Halifibrax. Wyverburster should activate. We get to add him, and we will special summon a level 1 Dragon Buster. So Destruction Swordsman fusions once per turn, so we can't actually try and discard this and add it back to our hand or anything. So it's kind of out of our reach now for that. So obviously just some discard fodder here. And we're going to go into a Synchro 8. We're going to go into Buster Dragon finally. And you guys probably wanted to do this a long time ago, but no. We need him for right now so we can bring him back. If you look at how our board is shaped out and our graveyard is laid out, this is pretty nasty. So we got our Imperm and our Prologue here. We can set them both. You're going to want to set them because you can't really fusion summon him in the grave yet. Leaves us with some discard fodder here. You might not want to get rid of Boot Sector Launch. So we did all this work just to make sure that Collapse Serpent is here. We're going to activate Predaplant Vertanaconda. So pay 2k, send Red Eyes Fusion, Dark Magician, and Red Eyes Black Dragon. And that will bring out the big boy, and this is a pretty scary board, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think many people would actually get through this easily, especially with a set Imperm and Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman. We're gonna go into hypothetical turn 2 here, I guess, and then we'll move on into another test hand. Turn 2, they activate something, and it's lethal enough that you want to activate Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. We're going to have to discard this, Omni Negate, and now we're going to banish Crystron Halifibrax, because let's just say we're main phase now, and that was when they activated their effect. We're going to banish Halifibrax, special summon Shooting Riser Dragon, and then, of course, because this is a synchro summon, you get to bin a card. We're going to bin some protection here. Mana Dragon Zernatron. So he's a level 1 now. Now using Shooting Riser Dragon's effect with Buster Blader, we can go into a Sync 8. And the Synchro 8 is going to be Porload Savage Dragon. And since that's a synchro summon, you can target a card in the graveyard, such as either Protector Whelp or Striker Dragon. So he gives you 500 attack, 1 negate. He's only going to give you 200 attack, but he's going to give you 2 negates. We activate Prologue. We're going to send a Destruction Sword card and a Buster Blader for cost. We send Memories and Blader, of course. And then, if they have no further response, of course, or if they do, you can just burn another Omni Negate on Borlo Savage Dragon here. Banish Memories, and the cost for, you guessed it, Buster Blader the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. So we can actually get rid of Wyverburster or Collapse Serpent or Striker Dragon. Let's get rid of Striker Dragon, I guess. Why not? And of course Buster Blader. Now we get our fusion. And because we didn't use the synchro for our Buster Dragon here with Shooting Riser, we went into Borlo Savage. Prologue's going to give us our second Buster Dragon. So when this resolves, obviously all their monsters, whatever they may have had, turn to defense. We're going to activate either the Buster Dragons, does not matter which, but you can't activate them both. So if we had another card in here that we want to attach, so we do, we have Buster Whelp, but that's pointless to attach. We're going to attach Dragon Buster. Now they have no extra deck. They wanted Twin Twisters. You can banish Prologue, and it chains, which is awesome. So let's say they targeted both of these, you're good. If they targeted these, not so much, but if they had a monster, you can also use this and hit this column, and if Twin Twister was hit in the same column, that negates it as well. Yeah, there's a lot of nice plays going on here. That's just about it for this first turn board here. We could probably extend into something crazy after this, but I'm sure you guys get the gist of this. Let's go into our second test hand, which is going to be very simple, and hopefully it'll show you how to unbrick.
Come, my all-powerful Buster Blader!
For test hand number 2, let's just pretend you get either Red Eyes Insight, Trap Trick, or Red Eyes Fusion itself in Prologue. So this is the main combo of this deck, but there's also another one in here And that is where Arfthau and Quick Launch. As you've seen, we did not really need any of these pieces to fulfill a full combo. So I kind of want to quickly show you what our smaller board would look like, which is Red Eyes Fusion and Prologue. I've already showcased this combo right here for Quick Launch and Where Arfthau in a past profile. You should go back and check out that combo video and you'll definitely see what this can lead you to. It's pretty similar to what we just had. This is going to lead us on a very small board of 3 cards. That's it. Depending on what else we get, like, we might be able to put a couple more out there. But the whole point of this combo here is if you get, you know, either variant of Red Eyes Insight, Red Eyes Fusion, or Trap Trip, or Prologue, you're gonna get these 3 cards out there, and your opponent's most likely gonna scoop. So let's just quickly shuffle this up. We're gonna add 3 more random cards to our hand. And I know you guys are probably like, oh, you're gonna get Ash, or Ghost Bell, or Dimension Shifter, or whatever. I know, but let's just, hypothetical, let's see what goes down when that doesn't happen. So we got a Chaos Space, a Buster Whelp, and a Red Eyes Insight. This is absolutely hilarious, I'm not gonna lie, because you will see it many a time where you have Buster Whelp and Prologue and Red Eyes Fusion and Insight. Not as often for those two, but it still happens. This is why I like having multiple copies of Red Eyes Fusion. You don't need to always normal summon the Buster Whelp, because we're just going to activate Red Eyes Fusion. So first we will activate our Red Eyes Insight. We will send our cost. I doubt anything would be happening here, but if they ash, they ash. If they don't have it at all, you might find out. But we're going to be adding ourselves Fusion and banning Wyvern. So this is why I love having 3 copies of Red Eyes Fusion, because if you need Predaplant later, you have means to it. We're going to activate Red Eyes Fusion, say it goes through. We need to set our cost from the deck. A Red Eyes Black Dragon, and a Dark Magician. By banning these, obviously we get to bring out one of the most OP cards in the game right now. We're going to put them way down here. People usually just put them right in the middle. For our deck, we kind of need our zones, at least this variant anyways. I would like to have them on the very far side if possible. You can put them over here, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Typically you just set your Prologue here, and you're good to go. You have a bunch of negates here. If you want Chaos Space, you can, but there's no real point. That way you have Buster Whelp for a normal summon next turn, which is unreal. Or, you know, you can just hard activate another Red Eyes Fusion next turn. So let's say it's their draw phase, and you don't know what they're playing. Don't activate Prologue then. If you know what you're playing against in a Game 2 scenario, let's say they're not playing zombies or something like that, that could be very detrimental to your graveyard strategy. You can just flip Prologue then. And when you flip it, you send your cost. We grab ourselves a Memories and a Buster Blader. We'll ask our opponent if they have a response, because we have dragons in the graveyard for sure. So if they do not have one, banish Memories, banish Buster Blader, and banish Red Eyes Black Dragon, because we have another one for later. Now we get to go into Big Boy Fusion, Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, and we're going to put our Buster Dragon right here. Why not? Now they are all dragons. You have an Omni Negate, and they're floodgated into defense. So that's pretty nice. So we just did a bunch of searching. We're going to quickly shuffle, and we'll draw for turn. And it's Magical Ice Fusion. That's pretty busted, I'm not gonna lie. Now the name of the game is to get another Buster Blader in the graveyard, which is not that hard. Getting another Buster Blader in the grave will be fairly easy to achieve. We'll just normal summon our Buster Whelp, and we can add. I'm actually gonna add Wizard. So first, Chaos Space. Send Wizard. Now we get to add ourselves a Wyvern Burster. And now we will have enough pieces to go into Protector Whelp without messing with our board too much here. Don't really want to banish that Dark Magician, and we did not want to banish Dragon Buster, that's why I didn't send that. We'll banish Wizard, which is still a pretty good card, but we don't really want to hard draw it anyways. Special Summon, go into a Link 2 here. You can go into Needle Fiber actually, which is not a bad idea. And we're obviously going to pick these two, so that we can add another card. We'll go into Needle Fiber. That lets us special summon Dragon Buster now, so that we didn't have to banish it. Not only that, because Wyvern Burster went to the graveyard, we get to add Collapse Serpent. We are going to banish our Wyvern Burster, special summon Collapse Serpent. So before we link away our cards again, we're going to use Chaos Space. By banishing Chaos Space, you all remember, we get to put that on the bottom of our deck. Banish this. Quick shuffle. Wyvern Burster to the bottom, and draw a free card. It's another Chaos base. That's actually pretty good discard fodder, so we can recycle more cards. So I'm going to tell you right now, normally you want Buster Dragon down here. I've messed that up a little bit, but he's going to die in the end phase anyway, so it does not matter too much, at least for this test hand. But what you want in game is for him to be over here. I'm just going to show you this so that you know what it'll look like instead. So now that we fixed that, we will go into our Link 2 using Dragon Buster and Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. That is going to trigger off Collapse Serpent's effect. So we're going to add Wyvern Burster back to our hand for more discard fodder. But we're going to go into Protector Whelp with the Destruction Swordsman. So we're going to go Chain Link 1 Protector Whelp, Chain Link 2 Collapse Serpent. So Chain Link 2 Collapse Serpent, we're going to add ourselves Wyvern Burster. Chain Link 1 Protector Whelp, we get to bin that Destruction Swordmaster. There he is. We get to activate Magicalized Fusion, which is absolutely free. We drew for turn. And we did all this work just to get our guys in the graveyard so that we can go into Dark Paladin. We're going to banish Buster Blader, Destruction Swordmaster, who's treated as Buster Blader in the graveyard, and Dark Magician that was sent there from the Red Eyes Fusion way long ago on turn 1. And that will bring out a Dark Paladin, who should not be too big right now. There shouldn't be too much of a graveyard. I like saving him for later game, but we true Magicalized Fusion, it's not too bad. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 dragons in grave, 2 on the field, and whatever amount of dragons they have on their field. Even if it's just the 6 dragons, that's still a 3,000 attack game. That puts them to 5,900. That is very nice. And of course we got our Dragoon, we got some cards for negating, and if we get board wiped, we can go Red Eyes Fusion next turn. This is why I like having our extra Red Eyes Black Dragon and an extra Dark Magician. The math kind of supports this deck being at 54 cards. You do not see them too often. When you do, if you see a Dark Magician, and if you get a Destruction Swordsman Fusion, and like any way to get a Buster Blader on the field, that's pretty sweet. Or as you see, Magicalized Fusion off of this combo here. Dark Paladin's actually really fresh. He's not hard to get out whatsoever in this deck. You can choose when to. And FTKing him for the lulz is super fun, and for a rogue deck, this feels super competitive. We can thank Dragoon for this, but at the same time, the Buster Lock just really helps. That's just about it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider smashing that like button and leaving a comment down below if you want to see any other combos and test hands like this in the future. Whether you're brand new to the channel or you're a returning viewer, make sure you subscribe so that you know when more content comes out. And as always, everybody, I hope you all have a wonderful day.